John, I guess to kick things off, Travis Konechny wasn't out there. Do you have an update on him?
Yeah, he's just banged up a little bit.
Nothing serious, you don't
No,
think?
no.
Do you expect him to be out there tomorrow?
Probably not. Probably we'll give him another day.
Can you say it's like lower upper body?
No, it's a body injury.
John, with Morgan Frost, where have your expectations gone for him after last season? He obviously finished well, probably didn't have the start he wanted, but what's next for him in your eyes?
To keep progressing. I think he improved as the year went on. But to be, if you want to be in the top 6 forwards, and I think that's a place, if Frosty's going to play, he kind of needs to be in that type of situation, then you need to keep progressing. And I thought he was better today than yesterday. Again, it's still, we're 3 days in. We're going to play some exhibition games. He still has quite a bit of work to do to solidify himself. And that's Frosty's world. And I think he's handled himself well from where he was, in my opinion, early in the year to where he came to towards the end of the year. He progressed, and that's all I want to see is just keep moving the needle in the right direction.
Cam and Sean both talked about wanting to get that first game out of the way after coming back from their injuries. Do you imagine they'll be in tomorrow's game day roster?
You know what? The players don't even know the roster yet, and I think Joe's going to give it to you probably within the next hour or so. I just want the players to know before I start talking on that.
With regards to the roster, when we talked to Danny last week, he said that some guys maybe earned games with their play in the rookie camp and the rookie games. How do you balance getting guys into games that need those games versus rewarding guys for how they've done in camp?
Yeah, you just I think as a management group, we have a vision of where we feel maybe the 25, 28 players are, as far as an NHL roster that it's going to keep on fighting along in the later exhibition games. But for me, I think it's important that you do reward people as far as how they're. And quite honestly, some guys may lose opportunities based on how they go about their business in scrimmage games, exhibition and all that, early exhibitions. So I think that's the way it should be. We're always talking about merit and earning things. We can't talk out of both sides of our mouth. Like you're going to see a couple of people that are in this roster that it's probably going to be a young roster. Usually is, right, the first games, but some of those young guys that'll play tomorrow have caught our eye that may play later ones and may take some time away from some other guys. So it's a little bit of both. And balancing act, yeah, I guess so, but it's also creating what we consider a standard here as far as how we go about our camp. I think that's really important. We're talking about trying to change things here, and I guess it's the new era. Is that the saying? Then we need to act accordingly. And I think Danny's on board, and Jonesy. We've talked about this as far as we want this to be a destination again for players to want to come here. We have a little bit of work to do to mend some things that have kind of lost themselves in this organization. I think this is a very important one that you ask about.
John, compared to his first season in camp, how would you say Noah Cates has grown from year one going into this camp, and when you saw him last year versus what you're seeing of him?
God, growing. I mean, I force-fed him everything he could possibly eat last year, and he handled himself very well. The next step for Catesy is, we don't need to teach him anymore, or we don't need to worry too much about him as far as his play away from the puck. He gets that, and it's now he has to put some pressure on himself as far as the offensive part of the game without losing that part, and he won't. Is put himself in a situation where he wants to create offense, and if you know Noah, he's been thinking about that from the get-go, that he wants to be a complete player and put up points. And I think a lot of people don't talk about his offense. I think he had a good offensive year, and how much I gave him as such a young guy that switched positions from wing to center at a National Hockey League team, a team that was struggling to find its way last year and going through the process. And I still think he put up some pretty decent numbers. So that's the next step for him as far as I'm concerned.
John, kind of to piggyback off of that, you talked about how you're anxious to see like Couturier back in the lineup, having more depth at that position probably this year. Does that kind of help alleviate some of the pressure off of Noah to be able to be put in better offensive situations?
Well, I don't know. I think everybody thinks. No, I don't look at it that way. I look at Catesy as, what if he starts producing offensively, and let's say Cootsie comes back and does the things that we all know he can do. And then you have Frosty, who's supposed to be an offensive center. Does Catesy displace him in an offensive role? And I don't. I want to see it play out. If we can get Noah Cates to gain confidence offensively, he may pass a few other guys, and for me, it puts me in a good situation because I can play him against I can play him and Coots against two top lines of the opposing teams and feel pretty comfortable, both offensively and defensively. And this is the battle Morgan Frost is going to have. Is he the second center? If Cootsie stays healthy, I don't think I shouldn't say second center. Is he an offensive center for us, Frosty? Is Catesy, and is Catesy, where does he fall as far as when we playing against offensive lines? That's all going to be worked out as we go through this year. I'm not forecasting. I want things to play out. Morgan Frost improved the first question, but he has got some work to do if he wants to get put in a spot that he should be at. And if he should be at, then you look at three centers if Cootsie stays healthy. So again, there's still a lot of question marks with that.
Have you had teams that have like two legit Selke candidates the way you might have with Sean and Noah, and like what kind of dynamic does that add for you?
Yeah, I'm not going to start going into trophies and all that, but if we end up having getting two offensive people that can back teams off offensively, and also play a 200-foot game. That's encouraging at the center ice position. It's really encouraging. So, again, I don't know where it all goes. We're just going to play it out here for the next couple of weeks and see where it goes.
John, what do you know about Sean Walker, and is he a guy that could maybe fend off a couple kids on your back end?
Yeah, I talked to Todd McClellan when we got him, and Mac really likes him. Very competitive. Played really well, got banged up and kind of fell from there. I'm not sure what came up in the organization that kind of put him in a tough spot as far as playing time with some other guys coming through. But when we first traded for him, I called Mac and other people and got really good reports. The thing I like, everybody said how competitive he is. And right-hand shot, very important. And again, he's a guy that we just have to get familiar with. I'm so, like I said yesterday, I'm comfortable with a lot of players here because I'm much more familiar. I've got to spend some time in trying to figure him out as we go through the exhibition season.
I know today you also had Sean, looked like you had Travis Sanheim on the right side with Adam Yenning today. Was this the first time you were kind of experimenting with that?
At times. Then he played with Walker, and I thought Sandy had a really good day today. It looks like he's in really good shape. He's gotten stronger. He's put on some weight. I'm hoping he's trying to make a statement. I really am, because that's what it looks like to me on the ice, at least the first few days here. He's trying to make a statement, like saying, I'm coming at you, and I'm going to show you. I hope he continues to have that attitude. That's what it looks like to me. And he's such a nice kid. I'm not sure what he'll say to you guys, but I like the way he's gone about his business here the first few days of camp.
How much does a guy like that, kind of could change the math a little bit on a rebuild? If like he takes that step and makes that statement, kind of change the.
Yeah. I see. I don't think players are too interested in talking about rebuilding. I think they want to get there as quickly as possible, and that comes down to the proper mindset. That's what I think. It looks to me, and I'm not going to get too far ahead of myself. I hope it continues, but that's what it looks like to me to trap with Travis, is that he's a little bit no nonsense, and he's trying to stand out. I watched him in the last skating drill. He led the way with his group, and if guys, some older guys or some more veteran guys take that, then it speeds things up, and it's also a great. It's just great for the kids to see, and the first 3 days of this camp, I've liked the attitude of the camp. I had a little bit of lull in one scrimmage the other day. We talked about that, but I thought we had 2 really good scrimmages today. I like where the attitude is, and I think that's what gets things going. Players don't want to talk about rebuild. They want to win hockey games, and I think they have the right attitude.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, John.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
I mean, I'm sure we will, but might not